Evacuations are underway after a major dam collapsed in southern Ukraine, and former New Jersey Governor Christie is expected to announce today he's running for president. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. A key dam has collapsed in southern Ukraine today, raising fears of widespread flooding in the region. NPR's Greg Myrie reports it also adds to the risks facing a nearby nuclear power plant occupied by Russian troops.
Video images show water surging through a large collapsed section of the Kakhovka Dam in southern Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is to blame, and officials say dozens of cities, towns, and villages downstream are in immediate danger of flooding. Russia, in turn, is blaming Ukraine. Neither side provided proof to back their claims. In addition, the dam created a large reservoir used to cool the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant about 100 miles upriver. That reservoir is now shrinking rapidly. Ukrainian and United Nations officials say they're concerned and are closely monitoring the nuclear plant, which is under the control of Russian troops. Greg Myrie, NPR News, Kyiv.
South Korea's military says Chinese and Russian warplanes have intruded into the nation's air defense zone without notice. NPR's Anthony Kuhn reports from Seoul. Similar incursions took place last year and in 2019 when South Korean aircraft fired warning shots.
South Korea's military says it dispatched fighter jets to the area after 4 Chinese and 4 Russian warplanes entered its air defense identification zone. South Korea says the planes did not enter its territorial airspace, which is separate from the identification zone. Foreign planes are supposed to identify themselves before entering, but China and Russia say they don't recognize the zones. China's defense ministry said it conducted joint patrols with Russia over the East China Sea and Sea of Japan Tuesday as part of an annual cooperation plan. The incursions are seen by some as a show of force against the U.S. and its allies. Anthony Kuhn, NPR News, Seoul.
Former New Jersey Governor Christie is expected to announce today that he is running for the Republican presidential nomination. It's not clear how popular he will be with GOP voters. He is focused on opposing former President Donald Trump. New Hampshire Public Radio's Josh Rogers says Christie will launch his campaign in New Hampshire, where he previously ran a targeted campaign for president.
In 2016, he basically focused his entire campaign here. He did the things that you purportedly need to do to be successful here. He started early. He did a lot of retail campaigning. He took whatever question voters cared to ask him, but he did end up finishing 6th here and then dropped out of the race.
Josh Rogers reporting. Former Vice President Mike Pence is expected to publicly launch his presidential bid tomorrow. Smoke from several Canadian wildfires continues to drift south into the U.S. The National Weather Service has issued air quality alerts today across New England and down into Maryland. Some World War II veterans are back in Normandy, France today. Lisa Bryant reports from Paris. They're marking nearly 8 decades since the June 6th landing by Allied troops.
This 79th D-Day anniversary is being marked by French fighter jets flying over the Normandy beaches and ceremonies, the main one presided over by President Emmanuel Macron. Dozens of surviving World War II veterans, now in their 90s and older, are back in Normandy to meet and share memories. Roughly 40 U.S. veterans formed a wheelchair parade Sunday in the picturesque village of Saint-Mère-Église, liberated by American paratroopers. Thousands of Allied and German soldiers were killed or wounded during the 1944 landing. World War II ended the following year. For NPR News, I'm Lisa Bryant in Paris.
I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.